strap in for my impressions of the iX1.
This is the BMW iX1. It's basically the X1 but the EV version, which means it looks virtually identical on the exterior and interior. Where it differs mostly is of course the way it drives and a little bit of boot space. And if you're already sold on the X1 or are already considering it, I guess the question is, would you consider its EV sibling? So allow me to share with you the things about the BMW iX1 that stood out to me the most.
BMWs are designed to have presence on the roads, and I think the iX1 possesses a certain commanding presence that is, well, not overbearing, but certainly a head-turner. One thing that I really like is the rim design.
It looks pretty normal from afar, but its design reveals more of itself the closer you get to it. And the more you look at it, the more interesting it becomes.
The automatic tailgate can be foot activated, and the opening height can also be adjusted using the menu on the touchscreen. Now, because it's an EV, you do lose a bit of boot space to accommodate the battery beneath. But even so, it's still pretty spacious and I don't feel like I'm lacking space. And if anything, there is a little compartment below for extra storage. In the rear, the seats are inclined quite a bit, and I wish there is a way to adjust how low they go. You get two separate aircon vents, however, with only one control. So if let's say I'm feeling cold and I have a sibling who's feeling warm, we're not gonna agree to disagree. We're gonna play scissors, paper, stone to see who controls the aircon. You also get two USB-C charging ports, which is pretty neat. Overall, the rear is pretty spacious. My feet can go under the seat and there is no center tunnel. Everything is pretty functional and I have no complaints. The sport seats are a little on the rigid side, kinda like sitting on a secret lab chair. It has side bolsters, and the backrest is actually pretty ergonomic in its design, although you do kinda need to sit in to enjoy its benefits. But if you slouch, I doubt it's gonna do you any good. But anyway, slouching is bad for your back. You can also extend the seat for extra comfort. For the climate controls, there are no physical buttons, and everything has to be accessed via this 10.7-inch touchscreen. There is a wireless charging bay, but it's upright, which I think is pretty cool because if your phone wakes for notifications, it's instantly visible and you don't have to lean forward to see who texted you. But regardless, please keep your eyes on the roads. I like that there is a physical knob to control your volume, which you can also do via the buttons on the steering wheel. This button here opens the center storage. However, it opens this side, which is a little odd. However, it does make a nice armrest. Just make sure you don't exert too much force this way or you might break this thing. You get ambient lighting, however, the colors can only be changed on personal drive mode. For the other drive modes, the colors have been predetermined. The sound system is okay, but by default, it is very bassy. It's so bassy in fact that this is actually my bass setting for a normal listening experience. Your mileage may vary, but if you're the kind of person who likes to party in your car, with the iX1, consider your speaker needs taken care of. Overall, the interior is pretty spacious, and you do get the standard BMW premium feel that you would expect. Everything feels nice to the touch, you get your usual BMW aesthetics and edginess, and when the car is stationary, you get these BMW lights, which is pretty neat. Part of what makes BMW a BMW is the drive. Regardless of which drive mode you're on, the drive is very smooth. The acceleration pedal is tuned for comfort, and there was never a point where I felt that the acceleration was lacking or too much. You get three drive modes: efficient, personal, and sport, which is similar to your typical trail, your eco, normal, and sport. There isn't a big difference between the three modes, but there is a subtle difference, and you can feel it when you accelerate. I would say there is enough difference for you to eventually have to decide which drive mode to use for specific scenarios, like efficient for gentle cruising and sport mode for overtaking, or personal for a balance between both. In regards to the regenerative braking, there are a few modes for you to choose, but you can only do that in the menu via the touchscreen. There is no real difference between the three. You can feel it of course, but even with the highest regenerative braking, it's frankly not as strong as what you would get in other EVs. But that's on purpose because the iX1 is designed for comfort, which means whenever you lift off the pedal, you will never jerk. But that's not to say the car isn't slowing down. It is, but comfortably. You get the standard suite of safety features, but you do not get blind spot cameras, which means you only get a rear view camera. And for the safety features that you do get, they work really well and they're not intrusive in any way. And to me, that is definitely a plus. Overall, I think the drive is really great. For its price, it's not the fastest car, but it's designed to be comfortable. And you don't get the feeling that they were cutting corners just to achieve that. What you do get is a premium driving experience from a car that's tuned to provide you the smoothest journey possible with the greatest comfort. I feel that there is really nothing lacking, and if anything, they could have perhaps added a panoramic sunroof. Other than that, I think the BMW iX1 is a great and comfortable drive through and through. When you're reversing or parking, you only get a rear view camera. There is also this radar screen right here, which lets you know how close you are to obstacles. And I think this is a cool feature because many a times using the rear view camera, it can be a little challenging to judge distances because of the wide-angle camera that distorts the image, giving you a false sense of distance. But this kinda solves the problem, although you do need to pair this with the rear view camera so that you know what's coming. Because the radar screen only tells you what's close to you, but it doesn't tell you what it is. And that's what the rear camera view would show. You also get a panorama view if you fancy more peripheral information instead of the radar. Similar to the i5 and its petrol counterpart, the iX1 is actually almost pretty identical to its petrol equivalent, except for the obvious, the electric motor and the reduced boot space because of it. Between the two, I think the crucial deciding factor is probably the 20k difference. But I also think it boils down to your preference over the electric or petrol experience. There is a market for both, so the question is, which do you fit in? I foresee this car being a contender for families or couples who are intending to start a family who are looking for an SUV within this price range. And for the premium price you're paying, you get the premium comfort and driving experience. It looks good, it drives well, and it comes with all the quality and aesthetics you would expect from a car carrying the BMW badge. And if that's what you're looking for, do not hesitate to try out the BMW iX1. And that's it for my impressions of the BMW iX1. If there's anything you feel I should have talked about, or if there's anything you would like to see more of, please let me know in the comments below. And lastly, do leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you again on the next one.